So I'm looking at the P. Diddy charges here, and I am discovering something that seems to be typical when we have something like this happen in news, the courts, especially popular cases like this. There's something that happens to all of us. And I want to see if I can examine this in just a minute. Maybe not literally, but a minute.
You good. You good. You good. You good. Don't stop it.
Bass.
It's the show that will get you thinking, and where the topics are hot. Feel free to comment whether we agree or not, 'cause he's got something to say.
Sirwalterj Jones. Sirwalterj Jones.
He's got something to say. Sirwalterj Jones.
Sirwalterj Jones.
Report live 7 days a week, always on time, but his time is not free. Sirwalterj Jones, always on fleek. Latest trending topics had you jumping out your seat.
He's got something to say.
Come on in,
boys. The water is fine.
Hello, everybody. Sirwalterj Jones Show. I'm here. It is the evening edition, baby. Y'all doing all right? Good to see y'all out there. I'm just sitting here enjoying my day, my work day. Birthday was awesome yesterday. I had a great birthday. Thanks to you all bunkers. Y'all took good care of me. Y'all blessed me immensely. All of you did. And so thank you. Bless you. And I'm looking forward to being a blessing to you all in return. Today, the verdict went forth. We knew that they would be deliberating, but they deliberated not long, and they came up out of the chambers, and they had the five counts that they had to deal with: racketeering, conspiracy, count 1; count 2, sex trafficking by force, fraud, and coercion, that's count 2; count 3, transportation to engage in prostitution; count 4, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion; and count 5, transportation by engage in prostitution. Count 3 and count 5 is the same. There is the Mann Act, and the transporting for prostitution, what have you. We all know about that. And the people were wishing that he would be charged with that, which would put him in prison for life. Well, that did not happen. He was not guilty on count 1, not guilty on count 2, not guilty on count 4. The more serious ones, he was not guilty. The lesser of them were count 2 and count 3 and count 5 is what he was guilty of. That's the transportation to engage in prostitution. All right. The count 3 and 5 says the same thing, but some variations there. And that had to do with 2 people. So we are in the street like we were with OJ, and like we were with other people who were either innocent, guilty, or we just didn't know. Then came the color scheme of who did this. White, meaning whoever committed the alleged crime, was he white or was he black? And then that would determine how black people respond, how white people respond. And wash, rinse, and repeat. I will say that I'm not shocked. I am in no way surprised that he did not get charged with the more serious crimes. And I think it has a lot to do, I know. It has a lot to do with the state's inability. Now, that court, that prosecuting team, what is the name of them? S something, it's an acronym. there in New York, something NY. They have a 95% rate of guilty. I mean, they get their guy. Let me see. Hold on right quick. I want to. Yeah, they always get their guy. Almost always. Add. Layla, I see you here. I was waiting for you. And I want to make sure I can get you into the moderation. Okay. All right, you're in there. All right. So the next time you type, then your words will change colors. I decided to make y'all welcome Layla Proctor, who's been with us for a while. But I asked her today if she would be a moderator because we always need someone on post of duty to help protect the show and keep a safe environment. And because she's always here and she's always so personable and very kind to you all, I decided to make her a moderator to help the others who can't be here. All right. So let's welcome her and thank her for her work. So let's get back to this. Can he financially recover from this? According to the news reports, he has been paying his lawyers $3 million a month for the last 9 months. Yes, you have to understand. Diddy is a billionaire. Diddy's gonna be all right. That little $3 million a month. That's not much for him. No, he's gonna be okay. When R. Kelly went away, Bill Cosby went away, and I'm bringing up these people for a reason based off of the climate. For my modus operandus of doing this show is to focus on you all, okay? And your response to these men who get put away, albeit temporary. It's our response. When R. Kelly was when the victims came forth and said what R. Kelly was doing to them, women turn on women. Bill Cosby, same thing. Women turn on women. Women turns on women. We already know about men. It's disheartening when women turn on women. And I often was used to use the phrase that the sisterhood is broken. I did, Cheryl. I had a great birthday. And when I say that, women get upset and as if I'm throwing a wide net. Well, if you're under the net, it's going to hit you. Women turn on women and they tend to victimize the victim. They victimize the victims a lot. And how are they able to do that and why they do it? Because of their love for the person in whom is alleged of committing these crimes, or sexual crimes. Their adoration for these men. R. Kelly was the Pied Piper of Sharon Ruff, blessings to you. We talking about P. Diddy. Pied Piper. He said he calls himself the Pied Piper of R&B. That was a perfect title for him. He was the Pied Piper. And y'all know the story of the Pied Piper, right? And he created this atmosphere for women to fall in love with him no matter what he did. And this is what happens with people in church when it comes to their pastors. They will idolize them no matter what they have done, no matter what they're doing, no matter what they're going to do. I'm going to follow my pastor to the very end. I even heard one woman say she would follow her pastor straight to hell. She said, because I know he going to find a way out of hell. This kind of dedication and devotion to a man is so dangerous. So dangerous. And so the public response to these kind of crimes is so sickening to me. But I'm not surprised that the people who are literally crying for him to not be charged of anything, even if, come close, even if those so-called victims volunteered and it was consensual. There were some who enjoyed the freak-offs until it got too much for them, and then they said, I can't do this no more. Now I'm going to cry rape. Now this happens a lot. And I don't know who these people are. I just know that this happens a lot. This is why people like P. Diddy got off. Because the state could not prove without a shadow of doubt that he did these things for certain people, because when you pull out the text messages and all the receipts, those who say they were victims were saying earlier in this thing, I'm enjoying this. So this is why it was difficult for the state to prove that he was guilty of or worthy of going away for the rest of his life. You understand? So the beating of his ex-girlfriend in that hallway said something to all of us. And it said something to him when he finally got busted and he went live or did a pre-recorded show and said, I'm so sorry, y'all. This is not me. This is not me. This is not me. Well, that was you. You did that. So even if she consented to being with you in that hotel that night, going to the freak-offs, beating a woman there is no excuse for abusing a woman. Even if she went in there and there was some consensual stuff, there is no excuse. And if anything, you should go to jail for what you did to that girl. That's it, Sherry. Stockholm Syndrome is a very dangerous psychological place to be when you fall in love with these people. And they are experts at using their money, their prestige, their power, their wealth, their fame to get you in there. And this is how R. Kelly got his girls, his women. The parents were turning their daughters over to R. Kelly until and then the daughters then turn on the parents. Now the parents are crying, well, my daughter, I haven't heard from her in 3-4 months. Call the police. We got blah, blah, blah. But you turn your daughter over because you felt that he could give her the dream that she always wanted in the music business. And so this thing, we are the ones that walk into these rooms, like we say how white folks in horror movies, When the house says, get out, white folks stay in the house. When a black man or woman hear, get out, he getting the hell out of there. You understand what I'm saying? He out. When she wanted to leave, he should have let her leave instead of beating. Come on. That's right there. That film showed us the trueness of who he is. P. Diddy is a monster. He's a monster of epic proportion. And the reason why I can say this is because my nephew was involved in that mess. He was in his home. Y'all read the lawsuits and the details of my nephew, Lil Rod. All that stuff that was happening, that happened to him. I know it did. It happened to him. And so it's like, we told you not to go over there. And these are warnings that our grandparents and our parents and our great grandparents of old told us, don't. My parents forbade me and my brothers not to just go over people's houses. Don't ask them for no food. You can't spend the night. Don't let no man pick you up and take you on little trips and all that stuff. My parents kept us safe because they don't know these people. And the sad part about not knowing someone is that the ones you do know were the ones who were raping and molesting. And the typical victim of these kinds of acts happened by someone they know. Uncle and aunties doing these things to them. So, Suzanne Miller, I know who you are. I always mess up your last name. Yes, he should get jail time. I would give him jail. Well, they're going to say time served because he's been in jail since waiting his trial. Okay. So technically he's serving, but he's in a holding pattern. I would do the sentencing and then say, okay, you might have been serving, but you were only serving because we were trying to keep a public safe by keeping you in jail. Now that the trial is over and the sentencing, now I'm going to charge you for these crimes, and I'm going to sentence you in prison for what you did to that girl. Fair is fair, but the system is not built that way. It's like in Chicago, if you are a tenant and if you are a landowner or landlord, the law is for the tenant more so than the landlord. It's difficult to get a family out of your property. Why? Because the city fights. He was acting so arrogant, so quick, not taking it serious. Probably made the judge mad. Yeah. Gloating how he come. Yeah. Yeah. And here's the thing, Katrina. When they was getting ready to do the verdict, he decided to get on his knees and pray. Did y'all see that? By the artist's rendition, he got on his knees. Now he wants to pray. So what is the danger now from this? If he don't get any jail time. His bail was denied. I knew that would happen. You know why his bail was denied? Because when he had been charged, he was doing illegal acts. So that went against him. He's a danger to society, and they had to keep him in there because if they release him, because he's a monster, he will try his best to get revenge somewhere. So they did the right thing. The judge was righteous to deny his bail. Okay. But this other thing is the end result is, thank you, Margaret, is if he doesn't get any jail time, it will empower him. And not only him. This is the purpose of this show here. It will not only empower him, but empower others. That's it, Yullock. And he will continue to prey on people. He will seek revenge because the way of a transgressor is hard. That thing that's inside of him can't go away unless God intervenes and clean him up. So he was a stage by getting on his knees and praying in court. That's just stage. But the danger is that O.J. Simpson had this same reflection. I got away with this. But the rest of O.J. Simpson's life was, he could never settle anywhere, O.J. He could never settle anywhere. Good to see you, Derek Carter. Even though they have his passport, he don't have to go over to no other country. He can do whatever he want to here. I wonder if this now makes him a marked man. While he may be acquitted, he will not be able to keep from looking over his shoulder. True. This could be the case. I just don't know. Rosalind, my birthday was amazing. Thanks to you all. It was amazing. December 91, he should be responsible of the 9 people killed in the stampede at the basketball game. 99, he was involved in the shooting. That's right, Sister B. Yeah. And this is what happened to R. Kelly, too. Because they went after him in was it the 90s, late 90s? And then they released him. Did R. Kelly get better? Did he get saved? Did he get delivered? Did he get set free? Did he get counseling? None of that happened. What did R. Kelly do? He went right back to his vomit. And so they had to bring him up again a couple years ago. And now here he is. He may serve the rest of his life in prison. We don't know. But these kind of things cause monsters to feel, I've gotten away. And you other potential monsters, you can get away too. And so will P. Diddy be a little more careful? He might be, but he's going to find other ways to express his monsterness. And this is why we're doing the book of Romans chapter 1. This is so apropos. I just dropped it on Patreon. Romans chapter 1. And when you look at what I talked about in Romans, and you can put P. Diddy, R. Kelly, and the rest of them in that teaching I just did on Patreon in the upper room. Both O.J. and Diddy were movie actors, and a boy acting went, Ferris Evans, blessings to you, sir. That's true, only God's truth. He got his circles, and they will protect him. They will protect him. And this is why my nephew, y'all have to understand, my nephew Little Rod had to hide. He had to go underground. He literally had to hide. He wouldn't even tell us where he was. Now, eventually I found out where he was. But he couldn't tell. His only person who really knew where he was his father and maybe his siblings. But not all his siblings knew where he was. He had to hide. Why? Because he knew his life was in danger because of this monster. And when you get that kind of power and money, You can get any job done you want because man will do anything for money. And don't ever say, I'll never do that for money. I don't care how much money you offer me, I'll never do that. Yeah, you get into a situation, some of y'all gonna rethink it. Yeah, he had to hide. So this kind of attitude that I've gotten away sets in, and it's going to be very difficult for y'all to witness to someone like that. Sam, come on, birds of a feather. Did you see your sons outside the court doing, push-ups, yeah. Do they not understand the severity of the, come on, Katrina, it's sad. But he instilled that in his children. They too were part of the freak offs. They saw their dad as their hero, someone that they wanted to be like. And the legacy will continue with the children because the children will see this, their father getting off and say, hey, if daddy could do it, I can too. This is sad, y'all. And so this always divides us. These kinds of verdicts divide us. Remember, O.J. Simpson, the white folks was crying and the black folks was celebrating. So now, what is the response to P. Diddy? Well, I looked outside and I saw women screaming in excitement and had the nerve to give God thanks that he wasn't charged with the greater charges. Thanking God for it. For him abusing women. And we don't know what's going to happen with Jakes. You know, I never focused on Jakes when all that stuff was going on. I don't even know, Pastor Ruff, if Diddy is an only child. I don't even know. We're going to have to Google that. I don't even know. I never even considered that question. And the daughters will attract men just like their father. You preaching tonight, Katrina. You preaching tonight. So I didn't want to go long, y'all. I just wanted to analyze this whole thing. I don't know what the judge is going to do. I don't know how he's going to be sentenced. If he serve any time or time served, I don't know. But whether he go in or whether he's set free, it is dangerous to be in these kinds of environments, and I would wish that we would be a little more wise in making decisions on who we hang with, because who you hang with could be a matter of life and death, either physically or spiritually or mentally, because many of these victims will have suffered already mental stress. And they could be turned over to mental illness and, PTSD. And, people snap when they see that justice was not served on their behalf by allowing a monster to go free. And again, I cannot, there are people who volunteered to go to these freak-offs until it was too much for them. And then they saw the harm of the monster, and then they wanted to be set free. Well, thank God they wanted to be set free. Yes, they should have never gotten in there, but we have to look at it from a. I was talking to my brother Rodney Jones, Dr. Rodney Jones, and we were talking about a man who has a pastor's heart. A pastor's heart. There are men who are they really don't care what happens to the saints. They'll say, you shouldn't have been in there. You should get that spanking. You should have this, and you should have that. And I say to these men, I don't think you really have a pastor's heart to say you should have gotten this punishment. But when it comes to you and what you've done, you always wanted people to see God's grace on your life. More grace, more grace. And so people get themselves into stuff, and then when they come to the knowledge of the truth and understand the danger they're in, when they're getting out of it, do your best to help them get out of it and come out, and pray for them and find ways to help them to restore mentally. That is the man with the pastor's heart, not abusing those who have been victims. So again, you never should have been in that, but the old statement of crying over spilled milk is not going to help the victim. It's just not. So how are we going to teach? What are we going to show or teach our children who see this thing and might be saying, man, when I grow up, I want to be like P. Diddy. And we just knew that this trial was going to expose a whole bunch of actors, entertainers, pastors, evangelists. We just knew. Everybody got scared. Everybody who ever went to a P. Diddy party was frightened stiff and got quiet and silent. You didn't hear from them all during this trial. You didn't hear from them. I know Jakes was nervous. I know he was nervous. I'm not saying he went to the freak offs. All right. I'm not that guy to dig into that stuff. But I know he was nervous. I know he was nervous. So now that it is over, they're saying, oh, thank God. And I'm hoping that they will say, I will never get involved in this ever again. That's right, Terry Hicks. This is why victims rarely speak up. Because we are so abusive ourselves when it comes to, girl, why didn't you say anything? Why you didn't get out of there? Why you did this? Well, you've never been in that situation. So you don't know the mentality of the victim. It's something that you need to study. It's a psychological place that they don't want to be in, but they've got to make sure that they satisfy the oppressor so as they are finding a way out. So the victims don't say anything because they're trying to save their lives. And then number two, they don't say anything because they don't like the embarrassment. When men are touched or maybe molested or let's say a sexual assault, not molestation, but a sexual assault happens to a man, he almost never say anything. Terry Crews, remember his situation when that Hollywood guy was touching him and groping him? He basically said, I couldn't tell nobody. I'm Terry freaking Crews. I can kill anybody with my muscles. But how you going to tell somebody that a man groped me and I'm the strongest man on the earth? It make me look like a punk. So men don't tell, as more so than women don't tell. Unfortunately, so many victims won't come forth after this. Yes, Loretta, that is so true. And why didn't some of the men who were victims didn't say anything? That's almost everyone in India. Yeah, I just mentioned it. They can't say anything because of the public opinion on them. I did, Yolanda. Thank you so much. I had a great time. Where you live, Yolanda? Where y'all at? He said it himself, claimed it was only 30 minutes. That's enough time for a song, a communion, right? A song. I get you. You're right, Jeremiah. That is so true, especially in the Cody church. Yeah. In college, I minored in criminal justice in a class I took. I know what you meant. Sexual deviant behavior, and Diddy fit the profile of a sexual deviant for sure. However, here's what I believe. Diddy secretly hated women, but used women in relationships only as a means to fulfill his sexual fantasies and desires for men. Yep, he used women to bring men into freak-offs. I totally agree with that analogy, Sharon Peter Ruff. You all have to really study I watched a show called Criminal Minds. Sometimes it's very uncomfortable to watch that show. But that show is it's not as entertaining as it is educational. You understand? as educational because it really digs into the minds of these people, like Sharon Ruff just mentioned. Not really a question, but Nicole C might be blocked. Huh? How's Nicole C blocked? Was it by mistake, Mikey Moose? And I believe you have full power to unblock anybody. If I'm understanding what you're saying here. I'm not sure I'm understanding what you're saying here. Help me out. We can't block Nicole. Her husband is right here. Somebody might have done it. I was sexually assaulted 5 times by age 15. And I never told because no one protected or believed women in the 80s. True. Men were protected. I told my late 40, what happened to, wow. After the show, Mikey Moves, I can find out who's blocked, and I can go back there and unblock a bit if she is blocked by mistake. I'll look on it after the show, see what's going on there. Yeah, Loretta, gosh. Yeah, Marie, that's right. You're afraid to tell. Okay, Mike Moves, I'll do it. I'll go in the back room after the show and see if she's back there, if she's been blocked. Because sometimes we move a little fast. I've done that too, blocked someone by mistake. And then you try to figure out how to get them off block. This Diddy business is Diddy's business. It's not going to affect our health. Let's talk about this big, bill that's created. Come on, Ryan Dansby. Did you really say that? Because if this show was about this big, beautiful bill, you would have been saying, well, what about P. Diddy, who's going around raping and pillaging folks? Come on. Black people could walk and talk and chew gum at the same time. We're not a monolith. This thing is important for your children. We pick our shows very carefully. Thank you, Katrina. We pick our shows carefully, and we always try to give an application to the show. I don't just talk about anything and then don't give an application and how it can be applied to our lives or our children's life. You understand? So this is important to us, especially as African Americans. And this is important for women especially, and the young women who are vulnerable and gullible. Young women are vulnerable and gullible. And they can get pulled in by the slyness of a man, whether older man or younger man, because she's looking for love. But she's finding it in all the wrong places. You understand? We all been there. And we've done something that we were taught not to do it, and then we went against our parents' teaching. All of us did it. We all did it. Especially when we're fearful of telling. Yeah, Veronica. So we got to talk about this stuff because somebody might be watching the show and saying, thank you for this. Because this is helping me make this decision not to continue in this relationship with so-and-so. You're right, Michelle, and old women too. The older women a lot of times fall for these guys, and they and all the money, they take all your money. And then somebody from Africa is in your email saying, and sometimes I get calls from Verizon Wireless, which is my service, and it says, the phone will say, Verizon Wireless is calling. I pick up the phone and say, hello, this is Verizon. Somebody use your account to buy an Amazon gift bag. And did you approve of that? And I would say no. All right, well, we'll get your money back. Here's what you need to do. And then depending on how much how bored I am today, which I'm never bored, there's always something to do. I'll play around with him until I catch him. I did that to one guy. I just kept him on the phone and just pissed him off. I think we spent about 40 minutes on the phone. I just felt like really peeing off his day because I figured if I spend 40 minutes on the phone, that's how many less folks he could take advantage of. I'm going to wear him out. And 40 minutes I talked to him. No, that's not the number. No, you're supposed to put the number. Oh, the number 5. Where is that? On my phone. Can you? Oh, sir, I'm trying to get you your money back. Okay, I want my money back too. Then I start crying. I want my money back too. Sir, calm down. I'll get you your money back. Now go to this email. I'll go to the email. Now, do you see the? Yeah. What's the email? How do I get in there? I drove that man crazy. Sir. And he finally hung up. Click. I had him on the phone for 40 minutes. And I said, now, I just saved probably 10 old ladies from getting robbed that day. I'm not saying y'all should do that, but sometimes I just like to teach Negroes a lesson. Y'all know what I almost called them, right? All right. I know Verizon ain't calling me talking about somebody use your account to buy an Amazon bag. Please, Verizon don't call you. The Verizon do not call you saying nothing crap like that. You got to know, because we're so gullible in this day and time that we fall victim of this stuff because we are typical nurturers and kind people. And so we want to give people things that they need, or we want to come out of our impoverished state. And so an Ethiopian prince will email you saying, I got $1 million on me, but I can't enter back home because I'm stuck in Miami somewhere, and I just need to transfer the money. And I just want to know if I can transfer it in your bank, and then I'll give you $50,000, and all you got to do is yes, heck yeah. And let me tell you, my grandmother fell for that, not just once. God rest her soul. Grandmama, what you doing now? Baby, I got this email from what's that, mother? That's his name. Okay, is he from Africa? Yeah. How you know? It's the ticking. It's amazing that you're able to speak that language so fast, my dear. Yeah, Holy Ghost work with me. Holy Ghost work. Okay, what's going on here? Well, he's an Ethiopian prince, and he needs some money. He needs his money. It's a shame what they're doing to them over there. That man needs his money. He's a prince, my dear. Let me see this. Okay, dear Dorothy, it's been wonderful talking to you. Thank you for doing this for me. Monday, did you give him your Social Security number? Yeah, he seems like such a nice man. Give me your computer. Give me your computer right now. Hand it to me. Hand it to me. He about to rob you blind. Johnson. That's his name. Johnson. My dear. Yeah, he about to rob you. No, he can't. He was so cuddly and kind, and he even prayed for me. So sick of you. Give me everything. I'm gonna show this fool who you really are. she took out her breast purse. I said, Grandma, you'll never fall for this again after I'm done with this food. I know a friend of mine that went through this and lost everything. I'm telling y'all, and I meant everything. So yeah, this is happening too much. Johnson. But you're pretty good. You learned that language. You went to Babbel.com. How were you able to learn that kind of language like that? The Holy Ghost the Lord is good. The Lord is good. Johnson. Well, at least I know his last name. Last name Johnson, right? Yeah. So go to my teaching on Romans, and you can push P. Diddy and all these other people in chapter 1 and see how Paul dealt with it and learn a lesson as much as you can. I'm hungry. I'm going to go eat. Whoo! TT. He said the clock keeper ain't here, so I'm going to do it. TT, where you live? Huh? Have we met yet? I met a whole bunch of bunkers. I ain't met you yet. I'm looking forward to meeting you. Wait. I ain't got to do this. I'm looking forward to meeting you. You're so faithful. Click, 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 click. Sometimes you got to cry. Laugh, that is, so that you won't cry. Yeah, sometimes you got to laugh so that you won't cry. One got my poor father for $500. Wow, Cheryl. Woo. Yeah, I've got hit too before. Not paying attention. I went online. I was in, where was I? Dallas. I believe I was in Dallas. And I went to a site that looked bona fide because I needed to order something, and I ordered it and I used the credit card. And then something said, when I saw the email, I said, oh no, I think I messed up. And sure enough, that night, my credit card got hit. Poof! I think it was a couple $100. Bam! I was like, oh, there it is. Here goes the attacks. And I was nervous because that credit card was attached to my rental car. So I had the rental car. They had already they held a couple $100 from the rental car. And so I was going to use that car, that card for car expenses and what have you. And then it got hit. So now I had to not report the card, because if I had reported the card, it was going to mess up my whole rental situation. And I had to pray and ask God, now God, please don't let them hit this card with nothing else until I can get this car back to Avis and get out of town, and I can report it. And thank God. What happened was it got hit again twice, but then the card declined it. I said, thank God, they know that this is an attack. So they didn't cancel the card. They just kept declining those charges until I finally was able to cancel that card. So we all can get hit. I can't tell you how many times you all have had to change your credit cards and your bank cards. Those of you on Patreon had to say, Brother Jones, I need to cancel that card, because all of us get hit. I thank God for you too. All of us get hit. So God, we thank you. We thank you for your love and thank you for your grace. Those victims, those people who are going through stress right now because of this P. Diddy thing, bring someone into their lives, because many of them don't even know you. But use us as believers to reach them, to teach them, and show them God's love and His grace and His healing power towards them. That they would just believe. If they just believe, they can have eternal life just like us, and they can lean on you for everything, in their nourishment and their health and their strength and their provisions. So heal them, heal their hearts and their minds. Do that, oh God, and I ask that you save P. Diddy, Sean P. Diddy Combs, whatever his birth name is, whatever you call him. Save that man. Save him. Please save him, so that others might be saved from his predatory actions. Save Sean Combs and deliver him from this demon that lie within him. The weapons of our warfare is not carnal, We're not fighting against this flesh and this blood of P. Diddy, but there's something inside of him, this principality, that is causing him to be this monster. Save him. Save him now. We'll continue to pray for him. In Jesus' name we pray. Thank God and amen. All right, y'all. Take care of yourselves and one another. I'm going to go, and I guess I'll see y'all again on tomorrow. See what I got up my sleeve. I thought I guess I don't have a short, Luann. I started the show and I don't have a short. I'm sorry to tell you I ain't got one. So I'll make it up. Luann loves my shorts. I'll make it up. I promise you. Okay. All right. I love y'all.
Fellas, does it seem like you can't get a good woman? Ladies, wonder why you can't keep a man? Then read The 4 Women That Men Desire, Volume 1, by Sirwalterj to figure out how to break the cycle. Go to Amazon.com to get your copy today.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?